It was a quiet morning when HOA Karen parked her vehicles in my shed again, this time assuming her habitual audacity would allow her unrestricted access. She and her entourage had grown accustomed to overstepping boundaries, but what they didn't anticipate was the level of preparation and decisiveness that awaited them. I knew that this moment required a solution that was both strategic and legally sound, ensuring that her repeated intrusions would be permanently neutralized. As soon as I noticed the vehicles inside the shed via security cameras, I quickly assessed the situation. Karen likely assumed that her entitlement would force compliance, but instead, I calmly formulated a plan to permanently secure the space. First, I reinforced the shed entrances with new, legal barriers that adhered to property regulations but were designed to prevent any unauthorized access. Locks were upgraded, reinforced gates installed, and clear signage placed to indicate private property and no trespassing. When Karen arrived to claim access or remove her vehicles, she was met with a completely fortified and secured entrance. She tried jiggling locks, attempting to intimidate, and insisting that the vehicles were hers to place and remove at will. I calmly explained that this was private property, legally under our ownership, and that any further unauthorized attempt to access the shed would constitute trespassing. Karen's usual tactics of shouting and intimidation were ineffective against the combination of legal authority and physical security. We documented the entire situation meticulously. Security cameras captured her arrival, every attempt at forced entry, and her escalating frustration. Timestamps and detailed notes created an airtight record. This documentation was critical not only to enforce boundaries legally, but also to ensure that any future disputes could be resolved without ambiguity. Neighbors began to take notice of Karen's repeated failures. The audacity that had once intimidated the community was now publicly neutralized. Her credibility began to wane as it became evident that entitlement and assumed authority were powerless when met with preparation, legal enforcement, and calm resolve. Her vehicles remained inaccessible, effectively neutralizing her ability to overstep property boundaries in the future. In addition, we coordinated with local authorities, providing evidence of the intrusions and the legal measures we had taken to secure our property. Officers confirmed that any future unauthorized access by Karen or her associates would be considered trespassing, ensuring that law enforcement was prepared to intervene if necessary. This step permanently shifted the power dynamic, making it clear that audacity without legality would not be tolerated. The result was immediate and lasting. Karen's repeated attempts to manipulate or intimidate had failed, leaving her frustrated and humbled. Our property remained fully secure, and the neighborhood witnessed the effectiveness of combining strategic planning, legal authority, and decisive action. The shed, once vulnerable, became a symbol of preparation, resilience, and the ultimate enforcement of private property rights. Ultimately, this incident reinforced a critical lesson. Repeated overreach and assumed authority are powerless when confronted with preparation, legality, and decisive action. HOA Karen had tried to manipulate, intimidate, and assert control, but her efforts were permanently neutralized. Our property remained secure, boundaries clearly enforced, and the neighborhood reminded that preparation, law, and strategic authority always prevail over audacity and entitlement.